Hello, everyone. I've been going over YouTube and Facebook posts, like I do. Uh, I haven't been making videos much. I have been fighting the battle of depression and anger, and coming out kind of even lately. And going over YouTube and Facebook hasn't been helping that. But this particular one is a topic that I'm most interested in, or more interested in than most, enough to get over my lack of motivation to make a comment or put energy into anything. There's a meme going around on Facebook lately, and I don't know if I can. I'm going to do something I don't normally do and see if this will do it. Yep, there we go. If this is their response to a living wage, and with the kiosks suggesting that because people want a paycheck that is a living wage, that we should boycott and close down McDonald's if they want to replace people with kiosks. I appreciate Kenneth for posting this. He posts a lot of stuff that I really like and stuff that's controversial that makes me comment, uh, gets my red up. And in this one is also the case. Because people that believe this are either disingenuous, and I'm going to say just plain ignorant on the outset to what's going on here. And also the ones that promote this are not only disingenuous, they are actively, what's the word? Fuckers, I think is the proper term. Yeah, fuckers. Would be corporate CEOs and the 1% that want to keep all the money. People making $20,000 an hour that say they just can't afford to pay someone $15 an hour to do all the work that they don't want to do. So that's, I guess, disingenuous again, trying to use the anger of this to promote or to convince people that $15 an hour is too much. Because look at the response. If you make us pay more money, we're just going to replace you. My thinking, and I use my own personal imagery, allegories, boycotting McDonald's for putting in kiosks would be the same as boycotting an elevator for replacing the elevator operator. You don't boycott elevators, do you? No, because computers now control the elevators. We don't need an elevator operator. We don't need to have some guy standing in this little box all day long pushing the buttons and making the things go up and down or pulling the levers. Technology has allowed us to move past that. It had nothing to do with what we were paying them or what he was getting paid. You're not going to boycott cars because the horse and buggy were so much better. You're not going to do that. You're not going to boycott telephones because the computer has replaced telephone operators. None of this has anything to do with minimum wage. All of this has to do with progress, technology. Smarter monkeys making cooler devices so that we don't have to have someone do the jobs that we don't like. Man, that thing is really just... Haven't been feeling myself. So I apologize if I ramble in this one. Which gets me to Bernie Sanders, sort of. He's really not as extreme as even I would like him to be, and socialism. That's a big thing. Socialism is kind of the point of what this meme inspired me to talk about. The socialism that has been associated with communism, which has been bullshit from the get-go, didn't work way back when because of people. The classic socialism, where everybody works for the same amount of money, everybody gets the same amount, everybody's socially equal and economically equal. The reason that didn't work is because somebody that was busting their ass shoveling garbage was making the same amount as somebody that was, or would have been, had socialism actually had been enforced like this, would make the same as somebody that is sitting behind a desk writing letters or reporting or what have you. The effort for pay was not equal. There's clearly a difference. And like this one with the McDonald's thing, I'm skipping through here. Nobody wants to do the fucking job. Nobody wants to do that job. Nobody aspires to be a clerk or a counter person at McDonald's dealing with the flood of fuckwits that want fast food and are angry and tired and have screaming kids. They're late for lunch. They're eating garbage food to begin with. So nobody wants to do that job. So in classic old style, not just classic, I guess, old style socialism, black and white television socialism, nobody would want to do that, and everybody would want to do the reporting or the fun jobs or the easy job. We've moved past that now. Like with the elevator operator, we don't have to pay the elevator operator because we don't have one anymore. But when you have technologies that can do all of this work for us, we now have the ability. Just now in today's society, and not even quite yet, in tomorrow's society, we will be able to have socialism, where because we involved people before, it wasn't ever going to work. But now, when you have robots that don't care how hard a job is, or what the social status of a job is, or how much the job pays, robots don't care. So you're going to have automation of pretty much anything, everything. You're going to be able to then have socialism where everyone gets the same amount. And I don't know how this will work because it's never happened. It's never occurred. We've never been here before. In all of human history, we've never been here before, where we're right at the cusp of not having to work to live anymore. Way back in the, I should say, way back in the day, primates, gorillas out in the woods don't have to earn $1 to get food. They don't have to work. So working is not really what, working for money, a chit, a representative, a dollar that represents a certain amount of work, is not something that primates do. It's not something that we as humans have evolved doing. It's not in social fairness. It disconnects the value of a product from the environment and the amount of work and that it takes to produce it. It disconnects everything and really just fucks up our society, which is where we've gotten to now. I mean, capitalism was great for competition when we didn't have automation. I'm not going to disparage capitalism of the past or the fact that it's gotten us here. But now that we are here, we need to move on. And it's going to be a rough transition. So with the kiosks going in and the automation of driving and the automation of manufacturing and all this stuff being automated, the trend is going to be a giant corporation is going to use all the money that they've stolen from their employees from not paying a living wage or a wage that's compensating their actual labor. I think we're supposed to be making, if it had kept up with the 40s, we should have been making like $50 an hour now as a minimum wage, something like that, something crazy. And they were talking about we should only have to work 10 hours a week. So in following that logic where giant corporations are taking the money that they're not paying employees and taking that money and investing in automation, and then once they have the automation, like this meme suggests, once they have that automation, they fire the employees and just have the automated robots. This is the gist here. Sorry, I'm not with it, and it's taking me a while to get there. Once you have the corporations firing all the employees and using robots, they think, now we'll get to keep all the money. So you have these giant, fat, jowly, white CEOs. You have those sitting at the top, lording over this giant pile of money. And then, for some reason, everybody stops buying the widget that they're producing. They're not buying the widgets they're producing because there's no employees anywhere, because you extrapolate that to all businesses. All businesses are replacing people with automated robots, automation. At some point, nobody's making any money, but all these widgets are being produced. So you have piles and piles of goods and starving masses. Does it starting to sound like what's going on today in not only here, but other countries everywhere around the world? You have large corporations, wealthy, disgustingly wealthy individuals beyond what kings had dreamed of in the past. And then you have the masses, billions of people living in squalor and poverty and misery. And they can't live like the few, which is what we have now. If we continue that into the future, capitalism is going to fail. You can't have the masses of people with no money and giant corporations expecting to be paid. It's corporations paying other corporations may hold them out for a little bit longer, but eventually they're going to collapse. And so in their own defense, what they're going to have to do is become a socialist society. If you want to keep capitalism as it is, where money represents value or work, which I don't agree with. Another video if I'm so inspired. But if they want to keep their capitalistic society, where they have control, they make the widgets, and the masses have less, and they get to have more because of status. We're primates. We like status. We like having a hierarchy. We just do. Sorry. They're going to have to issue or have to have some sort of socialism in place. Finland has already started this. There's a province in Canada that I believe is going to be starting this soon, where they're just issuing money to citizens to live. They don't have to work. They don't have to do anything for it. They're lazy welfare recipients, right? No, they're humans that can't get a job because the jobs no longer exist because robots are doing it all. So the socialist system is going to have to be that we tax the living shit out of giant corporations, and corporations are going to want to do this. There's already some billionaires and corporate CEOs that are saying that this needs to happen. Heavily tax the corporations, redistribute that wealth back down to the masses, so the masses can then afford to purchase the widgets that the giant corporations wish to sell. That's how it's going to have to work if you want capitalism and hierarchy of class to be continued into the future. This meme of boycotting and closing McDonald's restaurants because they want to replace employees with kiosks instead of paying a living wage. They're already not paying a living wage. $15 an hour to me is still not a living wage. You're still living on the edge of catastrophe. And we have enough technology, we have enough wealth that everybody should, like Bernie Sanders says, we should all have health care. We should all be able to have a nice car, a dependable transportation. We should all have nice clothes. We should all have access to the internet. We have enough wealth to do this. It's just people have been spoon-fed this capitalistic bullshit for so many generations that they can't understand another way, or that it's going to fail. They can't see the fact that the water's rising, and they're about to lose their shit. That was rambling. I apologize. It was just something I had to get off my chest. This is a longer video. Peace. Good luck, everyone.